Have you ever felt like you're walking alone while the entire world seems to be going in another direction? Have you looked around hoping to find someone walking by your side, but found only the echo of your own footsteps? My dear, if you're here right now, it's because you know this road. And I need you to know something fundamental. This loneliness you feel isn't abandonment. It's preparation. There's something extraordinary happening when you find yourself alone on your journey. While others remain on the sidelines, comfortable in their familiar zone, you're moving forward. And this isn't coincidence. It's choice. It's courage. It's the visible manifestation of an inner strength that you don't always recognize in yourself. Close your eyes for a moment and feel this with me. You're here. You haven't given up. Even when the voices around you fell silent, even when the applause stopped, even when the support you hoped for never came, you kept going. This isn't just resistance. It's pure power flowing through you. I need you to understand something that's going to completely change how you see your solitary journey. The strength that moves you right now doesn't come from outside. It never did. It springs from a sacred place within you, a place you may have forgotten exists. And when you walk alone, when you force yourself to keep moving forward on your own, you're rediscovering that place. You're coming home. Let's breathe together in this moment. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. And as you breathe, repeat with me, out loud or in the silence of your heart. I am stronger than I imagine. The strength I need already lives within me. I trust my path, even when I walk alone. Say it again. I am stronger than I imagine. The strength I need already lives within me. I trust my path, even when I walk alone. Feel these words not as distant concepts, but as truths that are being activated within you at this very moment. Because they are truths. They always have been. You know what happens when you keep moving forward even in loneliness? You become a lighthouse. Not because you're trying to be seen, but because your inner light, fueled by your focus and determination, cannot be contained. And that light, my dear, that light attracts exactly what's needed for the next phase of your journey. But first, you need to cross this territory. This place where you learn that you don't need external validation to validate your worth. This sacred space where you discover that your focus is more powerful than 1,000 voices of doubt. This precious moment where you understand that staying firm in your goals isn't stubbornness, it's alignment with your deepest truth. Think about a seed buried in the darkness of the soil. It's completely alone. There are no other seeds beside it saying, "You can do it." There's no applause when it breaks through its shell. There are no witnesses when it stretches toward the light it can't yet see. And yet, it grows. Why? Because within it exists a code, a wisdom, an irresistible impulse toward what it was created to be. You also have that code within you. When you force yourself to keep moving forward on your own, you're not fighting against the world. You're honoring that sacred code that whispers, "There's more. Keep going. You were made for this." And I know there are moments when you question. I know there are nights when you wonder if it's worth continuing alone, if it wouldn't be easier to stop, turn back, accept a lesser path. But something inside you won't allow it. Something inside you knows a greater truth. And that something is your essence, my dear. It's the universe working through you. Let's do something together now. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Each beat is a yes. Yes to life. Yes to growth. Yes to your unique path. Your heart doesn't wait for anyone's permission to beat. It doesn't check if anyone's nearby before sustaining your life. It simply does what it was created to do. And you can do the same with your goals. You can stay firm, not because someone's cheering you on, but because you're aligned with something greater than any human applause could offer. Repeat with me now. I have focus. I have strength. I move forward with confidence even when the path is lonely. My journey is valid, even without witnesses. Again, I have focus. I have strength. I move forward with confidence even when the path is lonely. My journey is valid, even without witnesses. Let these words penetrate every cell of your being. You're not trying to convince yourself of something false. You're reminding your being of something true that was temporarily forgotten. Now, I want to speak tenderly about something that may be weighing on your heart. Maybe you feel alone because the people you expected to be by your side simply aren't there. Maybe you feel abandoned. Maybe there's hurt mixed with your determination. And my dear, it's important you know that these feelings are understandable. They're human. They're real. But here's a liberating truth. The people who aren't walking by your side aren't being bad. They're simply on different paths. Each person has their own time, their own rhythm, their own lessons to learn. And when you truly understand this, when you release the need for others to validate your path, something miraculous happens. Resentment transforms into freedom. You want to know a secret? When you stop waiting for others to walk with you and simply start walking with yourself, with love and acceptance, you become enough company. Not because you don't need human connection. You do, and you deserve it. But because you discover you were never truly alone. You always had you. And you are extraordinary. Breathe deeply with me again. And as you exhale, release any hurt. Release any unmet expectations. Release the idea that your path needs to look like someone else's path to be valid. Simply let go. Like leaves falling from a tree in autumn, let it go. The tree doesn't cling to the leaves. It trusts that new leaves will sprout at the right time. You can trust too. Say with me, I release with love all those who cannot walk with me now. I bless their paths as I bless my own. I am complete in my journey. Once more, I release with love all those who cannot walk with me now. I bless their paths as I bless my own. I am complete in my journey. Do you feel the lightness that comes with this release? When you stop carrying the weight of disappointment and perceived abandonment, you have so much more energy to focus on what really matters: your growth, your goals, your transformation. And here's something wonderful. When you walk with that released energy, when you stay firm in your goals with focus and strength, you naturally begin to attract people who resonate with your frequency. Not because you're looking for them, but because the universe always aligns similar energies. You become a magnet for authentic connections, simply by being authentically you, walking your path with integrity. But this happens in divine timing. And meanwhile, you have something even more precious. You have the opportunity to build an unbreakable relationship with yourself, to discover that you're capable, that you're resilient, that you don't need an audience to be magnificent. Think about this for a moment. Great sunrises happen even without anyone watching. Mountains remain majestic even when no one's looking. The ocean continues its eternal tides regardless of witnesses. Greatness doesn't need observers to be real, and neither does yours. When you force yourself to keep moving forward on your own, you're practicing something few master: authentic self-determination. You're telling the universe, I trust myself. I believe in my path. I am worthy of moving forward, with or without company. And the universe listens. The universe always responds to that frequency of self-confidence with opportunities, synchronicities, disguised miracles. But there's something you need to understand about this process. Your progress isn't linear. There will be days when you take 3 steps forward. There will be days when you feel like you're taking 2 steps back. And that's okay. Real growth is never a straight line. It's a spiral. You move forward, you step back, you learn, you integrate, you move forward again. And each turn of the spiral takes you higher, deeper, closer to who you really are. So on difficult days, when you feel like you're not making progress, remember this: transformation is happening even when you can't see it, especially when you can't see it. Like the caterpillar in the cocoon that must completely dissolve before emerging as a butterfly. From the outside, it looks like nothing's happening. But inside, complete alchemy is occurring, and you're in that process now. Every moment of loneliness, every instant of overcome doubt, every decision to continue when you could have stopped, all of it is transforming you. All of it is preparing you to fly in ways you can't yet imagine. Breathe that in for a moment. Let it sink in. Your solitary journey isn't a punishment. It's an incubator. It's the sacred space where you're being reformed, refined, prepared for something greater. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more comfortable you become with your own company, the more you develop your capacity to keep moving forward on your own, the more attractive you become for deep connections. Not from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. And those are the connections that last. The ones built between 2 complete people choosing to share their paths. not two halves seeking completion. But this doesn't happen by rushing. It happens by surrendering. It happens by trusting. It happens by allowing the process to unfold in its own divine timing, while you keep doing your part, showing up, focusing, believing, moving forward. And your part, my dear, isn't to move mountains in a single day. Your part is simply to take the next step. That's all. Just the next step. And then the next. And then the next. And before you know it, you'll have climbed entire mountains, one step at a time. So let's be practical for a moment. Because I know you're here not just for pretty words, but for real guidance. How do you maintain focus when no one's watching? How do you keep going when there are no cheerleaders? First, create daily rituals that anchor you. In the morning, before the world demands your attention, spend even just 5 minutes connecting with your purpose. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what you're building. Remind yourself who you're becoming. Second, celebrate your small wins. Don't wait to reach the summit to applaud yourself. Applaud yourself for every step, every day you show up, every moment you choose your vision over your fear. Be your own cheerleader, not in a superficial or forced way, but from a place of genuine recognition of your own courage. Third, journal your journey. Write about your struggles. Write about your breakthroughs. Write about what you're learning. Because in those future moments when you doubt yourself, you can look back and see how far you've come. You can read your own words and find strength in your own testimony. Fourth, surround yourself with reminders of your vision. Images, words, symbols that represent where you're heading. Not as escapism from where you are, but as anchors that keep you connected to your destination when the fog of doubt thickens. And fifth, most importantly, be gentle with yourself. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about never falling. It's about getting up every time. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and being willing to live into the answers that gradually reveal themselves. Think about how many times you've already proven to yourself that you're capable, how many times you've already overcome what you thought was impossible, how many times you've already gotten up when you thought you couldn't. You have a 100% survival rate, and that's not luck, it's strength, it's resilience, it's the universe flowing through you. And now, in this moment of your life, you're being invited to take the next step in this journey of self-discovery. Not because you need to prove something to someone, but because there's a version of you on the other side of this loneliness, a more confident, stronger, more aligned version, waiting to emerge. And the only way to meet that version is by going through, not avoiding. Imagine for a moment that a year from now, you look back at this moment. You see the person you are now, standing at this crossroads, questioning whether you can continue alone. And the person you've become, a year in the future, smiles tenderly and says, "You didn't just make it, you flourished." And it was precisely because you walked alone that you discovered how extraordinary you really are. That future is available to you, not as a magical promise, but as a real possibility that unfolds every time you choose to take one more step, every time you choose to believe in yourself, every time you choose your focus over your doubts. And on difficult days, when loneliness weighs too heavily, when exhaustion seems insurmountable, remember this. You don't need to see the whole staircase to climb the first step. You don't need to know how you'll reach the mountaintop to start climbing. You just need to take the next step. And in each of those steps, the universe is with you. In each breath, life is saying yes to you. In each heartbeat, your inner strength is proving you're capable. You're never as alone as you think. You're surrounded, sustained, supported by forces you may not be able to see, but can definitely feel when you allow it. Place your hand over your heart again. Feel the presence of life pulsing within you. That presence never abandons you, never gives up on you, never judges you. It's simply there, constantly saying, "I believe in you. Keep going. You're on the right path." Let's create one final affirmation together. One you can carry with you as a mantra whenever you need to remember your strength. Repeat with me. I walk with sacred purpose. My solitary journey is my initiation. I emerge stronger, wiser, more complete. I trust. I move forward. I flourish. Again, let each word sink in. I walk with sacred purpose. My solitary journey is my initiation. I emerge stronger, wiser, more complete. I trust. I move forward. I flourish. Do you feel the power in these words? You're not just enduring your journey. You're embracing it. You're recognizing that there's a divine purpose in every step, even the ones you take alone, especially the ones you take alone. And now, my dear, I want you to give yourself credit, real credit. Stop for a moment and acknowledge how far you've already come. Acknowledge how many times you've already chosen to continue when you could have stopped. Acknowledge the courage that lives in every cell of your body, allowing you to stay firm even without external support. This is no small thing. In fact, it's something extraordinary. You're doing something many can't do. You're honoring your path above others' opinions. You're prioritizing your growth above comfort. You're choosing transformation even when it comes wrapped in loneliness. And you know what that means? It means you're living an authentic life, a life that's truly yours. Not a copy, not a version approved by others, but a genuine expression of who you are and what you came here to do. How many people can say that? How many people have the courage to walk their own path, even when everyone else is going in a different direction? You do. And that's something to be celebrated, not lamented. So yes, maybe you're walking alone right now, but you're walking toward something, toward your truth, toward your potential, toward a version of you that's more aligned, more powerful, more authentic. And when you finally get there, when you look back and see all the ground you've covered, you'll understand. You'll understand that every moment of loneliness was necessary, that every step without company was essential, that every time you forced yourself to keep moving forward on your own, you were building something unshakable within you. You were building real self-confidence. Not the superficial version that depends on likes or approval, but the deep version that comes from knowing, in the depths of your soul, that you're capable of sustaining yourself, that you're worthy of your own goals, that you have what it takes. And that self-confidence, my dear, is the greatest treasure you could find. It's what no one can take from you. It's what will remain with you through all the seasons of your life. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. So keep going. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep focusing on your goals, even when no one seems to understand. Keep believing in yourself, even when the external evidence hasn't arrived yet. Keep being true to your path, even when the path is lonely. Because you're not just progressing despite being alone. You're progressing because you're alone. Because in that space of solitude, away from external voices, you can finally hear your own voice, your inner wisdom, your internal guide. And that voice will never deceive you. That voice knows the way. It always has. And when you allow yourself to follow it, when you trust it above everything else, you discover you were never lost. You were exactly where you needed to be, learning exactly what you needed to learn, becoming exactly who you came here to be. So breathe deeply with me one last time. Feel life filling your lungs. Feel strength pulsing through your veins. Feel certainty settling in your heart. You are stronger than you imagine. You have focus. You have strength. And you're exactly where you need to be. While others stay on the sidelines, you keep moving forward. Not because you're better, but because you chose to honor your calling. And that choice, made repeatedly, day after day, step after step, is transforming you into something magnificent. Trust that. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And know, deep in your heart, that you never walked alone. You always had the most important company of all. You always had you. And you, my dear, are more than enough. The universe is with you. Life is on your side. And your inner strength is unshakable. Keep going. The world needs to see what happens when someone has the courage to be truly free. And you're showing the way. Until our next meeting.